And a bit more, we haven't heard a lot from you in the last week, and there's been a lot on Nextdoor and elsewhere, and it'd be great to address some of those things, like the Sycamore community group, if you could sort of address those, because I saw a lot of people say, wow, I didn't know that Joe didn't turn up, and they were just kind of enforcing each other, and I didn't hear anything to contradict that or any other points of view. So it'd be great to get your take on that.
How many people have seen that on Nextdoor? Okay. Well, okay, I think this is what you're referring to. I was a member of the Arroyo Seco Neighborhood Council for about 6 months. This was about a decade ago. And I joined it, and this was during the term of Rocky Delgadillo, if you remember him as a city attorney. Dunn was relatively new. Then he crashed out in some weird scandal. I can't remember what it was, but and then it was the other guy, Trutanich, I think, after that. Anyway, when I got my training for the neighborhood council, they informed all of us that we could no longer email, have a conversation with, meet in any capacity with any more than a quorum of the board members on the neighborhood council. That we would face criminal and civil penalties for doing it, and because we have a violation of the Brown Act. And I struggled with all of the very harsh Brown Act rules that made very clear I was going to face real penalties for doing, with the desire to do something nice in the neighborhood. And I finally quit after 3 or 4 months of the neighbors on the council arguing about how to get a petition to rename Avenue 43 Lummis Drive simply to spite the gang, because if you live here, there's the Avenue 43 gang. So they wanted to change the name of the street, and they thought that Jose Huizar, who was then their council member, should draft the petition. And it went back and forth for months, and then I finally drafted my own petition, and I presented it, and then nobody wanted to go and collect the signatures. They wanted to allocate money to hire school children to do it, and I was just so fed up. We'd already wasted 300, 400 man hours on something that we could have all done that evening, and I stopped going for a few months, and then I just resigned. And I decided I could do more in the neighborhood at the co-op that I founded, and with the bike rides that I got kicked off in 2006. And so, yeah, I left the neighborhood council. I was quite disillusioned with the whole system, actually. It was a very disappointing experience for me. Yeah.
And did you submit a letter of resignation?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I got elected. This was an election for a neighborhood council seat in part of this city where there was like maybe 30 people that voted. They were all my neighbors. I just asked all my neighbors to go vote, and they went and voted. So, I did it to myself. Yeah.